What is going on, people? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to more Call of Duty news here from Esports Talk, guys. Breaking down the LA homestand, the battle for LA, which saw a lot of surprises and maybe not so many surprises for a few teams out there. Let's break it down very short, sweet, and simple for all of you. And first of all, the current standings on screen as well. The first takeaway I want to make out there is LA and New York. That being LA Gorillas, by the way, and New York, both of these teams amongst a few teams out there having roster changes. LA Gorillas by far and away the biggest one, changing out 3 members. I will say you really can't take too much away from this team, changing out 3 men on that roster as well. But they come away winless yet again for a weekend alongside a team like New York, who also made a change, that being Happy in place of Zero. Now, the team has already signed Mac this past weekend. I'm sure I'll talk more about that in the coming days because it probably means the roster changes will continue for a team like New York, and so too do their struggles. I would say the biggest takeaway from this weekend, besides an Atlanta FaZe loss, would be Optic Gaming finally showing up. What do you know, guys? You take Dash, you do a sub role, and of course TJ shows up this weekend as well, and the team looks much improved and likely means holding off on changes for the time being. They make their first playoffs, and I would say after a close opening series where they almost choked against LA Gorillas, and now this is a meme. I am very happy this team is improved. I'm very happy to see where they go and progress in the future. They are now back as a top 6, maybe to some out there even further up the rankings of a top contending team, and they certainly showed up after a shaky opening series. Optic Gaming, they might be back, and for the first time this past weekend, we finally heard those "Let's Go Optic" chants, which was pretty intense. Now, besides that as well, Minnesota Rokkr obviously proving themselves as a top contending team yet again. The biggest takeaway, besides maybe Optic comeback from this past weekend, has to be Rokkr taking down the Atlanta FaZe. Yes, it goes game 5 yet again, just like their last meetup, and certainly a guy like GodRx, maybe a couple weeks back, maybe at homestand weekend, he was seen as maybe an undervalued talent. He has proven time and time again this guy is absolutely nuts. That does go game 5, and actually during that S&D, FaZe Clan choking both a 4v2 and a 5v3 round, but a win is a win. You could pick it apart probably both ways, mistakes on both sides. Rokkr are the only team out there who has taken FaZe now twice to a game 5, and actually the first team to beat them this season. You really can't knock them much for that. It's really impressive to see. Speaking of impressive, a small side note, I was not going to really talk about them too much. Florida, I would say not looking, of course, you lose a guy like Bristini last second, fill in Pharaoh. I would still say Pharaoh has huge potential. This team is going to be very surprising to see. Do they stick it out with Pharaoh? Is Preston all of a sudden back in? This kid has so much potential. It was great to see as of right now on the main stage. Had pretty much 0 nerves. I wasn't going to mention them too much, but I felt they needed to be mentioned because they were one of many teams who made changes and one of few teams out there who made changes, and the sub-in player, I think, in my opinion, played fairly well under the circumstances. And then also a very quick side note as well. I feel like I need to break down all the teams here so you guys get a general gist of the current situation for all of them. Seattle has now won their 2nd series of the entire season. They have only beaten so far in a series the LA Gorillas. So take from that what you want. Will those changes continue for a team like Seattle? I have no idea. And of course, very lastly, as we head into it, guys, that's going to be Dallas Empire, of course, against. They take down Optic, I would say, pretty easily, in my opinion, the semifinals, and then taking down Rokkr in a game 5, the best final we have seen so far, and it's not even close. The first final, by the way, that was not a 3-0 sweep, and very, very cool finish there, guys. I would say viewership-wise, a bit concerning, especially given how close and amazing that final series was. Either way, though, Clayster, my personal MVP for this team, especially during that last S&D as well. The guy, they showed him time and time again on those comms, either hyping up his team or clearly calming them down and saying, hey, focus up, this game is ours. And again, an immaculate series. Rokkr proved themselves as a top contender, but Empire now joined the 3 teams out there with chips. And it's exactly who you expect to have chips right now, guys, winning CDL titles and earning those chips. The Huntsmen, we have FaZe, and now the Empire, and I cannot wait. It's got to be a matter of 48, 72 hours before Crimsix starts playing that villain role yet again. Empire proving themselves also a top team out there, and our top 3 overall teams all have chips. The storylines are there. The drama's going to be there. I'll be back here every single day this week, guys, for Call of Duty news, but there are esports and gaming news as well. There are so many storylines to discuss, okay? Pharaoh's going to be one. Sensor's going to be another. Atlanta FaZe might be one as well. I cannot wait to break it down for all of you guys here every single day. Until then, though, okay? Take care. Drink your coffee. Hydrate. I'll be back here shortly.